Hi guys, welcome back. Part 2 of the 3x8 pico expander. So at the end of the last one we got to the part where I was going to need to program the pico, but as you'll see in this one I had the wrong pico. I have so many projects going on, one is wireless and one is not. So that's the right one. It's the green one. The purple one is for another project. So I just put the header pins and that on, and I haven't programmed it yet. That is what we're going to do in this one, and then look at getting out a 3 to 8 and trying it out. So grab yourself a drink, a few little snacks, and that comfy chair, and stand by for action. Okay, so I found the bits. I found a bag of these push buttons. I was going to make sure I know which pin is which. And I found that that's not the right one. These ones that I got are the ones I need. Those ones don't have the wireless on them. These ones do. These were for another project I've got going. I tell you, I've got so many projects going, it's not funny. So that one go back in there, and that'll go over to another job I'm doing, which is another pico project for the Spectra video. So we'll come back to that. So these ones come in their own little packet. They don't come with the pins, but we have the pins on here. So we take this and we'll pop this down on there. Same thing, it just connects onto there. And the only real difference between this and this, other than the two slightly different manufacturers and revisions, is the wireless. So I still need to find something to sit this up on. Gives me a nice little tray to put another one in if I need to. This one here, go in there. And then I can chuck it back in here and just cross out the W on it. So it's exactly the same one. It's an 0918, but it's not the wireless. It's the non-wireless version. Here, we'll just scrub out wireless, so we know that's not the wireless one, because that is actually for those, for that one that's in there. That's another project we're going to be looking at doing, and they're quite cool as well. There's a few more iterations of that project since that, not been released yet, but will be soon, and hopefully they will release it for public to make their own boards instead of having to go online and buy a board. So yeah, we're hoping for that, but we will see. Got my stack of 7.4 LVD 245s and an 7.4 HC14. You need the HC for these because the LSs tend to be a little bit too slow, and the HCs use less power as well. So, but they all just plug straight on, so we don't worry about that. The only thing I've got to worry about is the switch to see which way around this works. So it needs to short when you push the button. So, and this is another thing from AliExpress. You get, these are all one type, and you get a pack of like 50 for a couple of bucks. But I have got a box of all different heights, and I've got to find that as well. Now let's see which way around this is wired. It's obviously that way around, I think. think it's across those two sets of pins. Oh, get that in there first. Which way around we go? A little bit further. I might get something up. Let's do it this way. Get some crocodile clips, eh? That might make life a little bit easier. Make sure they don't short. And we'll stick it on the meter and push the button. Go red to red. And black to black. Sounds like it's open. Close that. So that's the wrong way. That's obviously bridging them. So if we go that way, so it's got to go across that way. Yep. So it's across the wide gap. So when you look at these switches, they have a wide and a narrow gap. When you look at them, if you look at them from the side, from this pin to this pin is a lot wider. When you turn it around, that's a lot narrower on that side. Also, the pins round on the short side, whereas they don't on the wide side. So we'll just have to see if that will fit. Yeah, and that should go. That'll go in there fine. So if we just clip those other two pins off, those other two legs off, we'll be fine. Or we could always bridge across those two as well, I suppose. A little bit of wire after we solder it on. Might be worth looking at. Alright, so I will sort out some way of holding this up when I do that, and then I will come back and we can solder in that pico as well. Okay, so sorry guys, I forgot I had it paused, and I've soldered the top of this and soldered the switch on. I was actually thinking these switches, if you designed a case in the way you wanted to, there's no reason why you couldn't sit it over the edge of it and solder it from both sides and have it sitting on top, so when you push the reset you push it down rather than from the back. Preference. But anyway, I will pop the ICs in. So this is all done now. This is all soldered up and ready to go. I need to get me leg straightener. This is our 74HCT14. Goes out. These are our LVCs. And as I say, if you're doing this type, I generally put them into sockets, because there's been a few I've had that have been fine and then they just fall over. And then to unsolder and resolder is a real pain. So I find that if you put them in sockets, it's easier to pop them out and pop a new one in. If you're doing the surface mount ones, that'd be a little bit different, because they shouldn't be as sensitive to they will be sensitive, but they shouldn't be as sensitive to going in. I hate the way they cut these tubes. They burr the ends, and it's getting the ICs out is a real pain. And when I buy these online, they usually come in a pack of 5, so it gives me one spare. Right, that's that done. I haven't bridged these other pins at the back yet. I do have some little leads here I could probably do that with, but I don't know if I'll worry about it for now. That's just in there to try and stop the other one from falling out because it wants to. Yep, it's all good. I can take it out from the other end. Right, that over there. So that's all done now. They're all in. It's all ready to go. So we have to pop this off and then go onto the web page and do the software setup on this. And then I think we'll pull out a Spectra video and see how it goes. Hey guys, so another day. I had to go over and get a new cable so I can program these picos because the cable I had an issue and it wouldn't pick any of them up, even the brand new ones out of the packet. So I grabbed a couple of cables and a multi-voltage power bank for USB 3. I got a 120 watt one for a tool I bought a little while ago, which I will show you and give you my honest opinion on shortly. What we're going to do is we're going to carry on with doing the pico expander and program the pt2. So these are the ones you need for it, the wireless ones, because that's how it talks to the server, which is your PC you're going to use to hook up to it. Alright, so we're going to carry on with that, and it's easy. It's basically you go to his website, download the package you want. Now they're up to version 0.3, which is an update to 0.2. It has a couple of bug fixes in it for doing CAS files and a couple of other things that were giving syntax errors and stuff like that. So that's all on there. It has hard drive emulation, etc. now. So let's go on and I'll show you where the file is. I've already downloaded it, and then we will flash this, put it on the expander, and then we'll plug it into a 328 and see how it goes from there. I don't know a lot about this, guys, so I'm not 100% sure how it works, so bear with me on that, and we'll see what happens there. Okay guys, so I've gone to his website, and this is Fitch's SV3X8 Pico Expander GitHub page, and at the very top you will actually see it's got his link up here on GitHub, or you can just do a search in Google for 3X8 Pico Expander and it will bring it up, and you can go directly into it from there. So from your main page you can have a navigate to go into where the file is you want. Easiest way I find, and easiest way I find to remember, because you may also want to recap over the information, is down the bottom here. He's got a bit about flashing the software, and it says this is where the files are provided, the UF2 files, which is what we need to flash the Pico. So we click on that release, and that'll take us directly into the folder we need to be able to download the file we want. And as you can see, it was version 1.4.2 and the new one is 1.4.3, and as it has over here, it's done some fixes for, come up to it, fix the following bugs: the CAS auto load causing syntax errors, dump disk appearing erroneously on the menu after a warm reset, catalog filter not resetting properly after a warm reset, and some text overflow issues in the UI. So those are the things that were fixed in this version. Just a couple of little things. So you could go with 4.0 1.4.2, but put the bug fix one on. So all you do is you just click on this to download it, save it to where you want to download it, and I've downloaded it already onto my machine. If you want to, you can go back and actually take the whole repository by going into code and then coming and saying download zip. And what that'll do is pack up that whole archive and download it as one zipped up file for you. Then you can extract it on your own machine, and you can go into the releases folder, and inside there you'll find the file we need. Alright, so that's what we need to do, and it's very easy after this. I will just show you shortly. We'll exit out here, and so what you do now is we'll come into Windows, and on your Nano there's a little button, and you need to hold that in. My one's a white button, yours could be black or whatever colour they put on. Hold that button in, plug your USB cable into the Pico, and then while you're holding the button in, plug it into your USB port. And the PC will turn around and tell you, I've found a drive. And it should list up as RPI RP2, or RP1, RP2. And it should have like an HTML document and a text document if it's a brand new one. Don't worry about those. So once this has come up, we want to go to where the file is, and I'll go into the folder, and so that's the file there, which is 1.4.3.uf2. so I will copy that, and then we just go to, and down the side on the left hand side here you will see that it has got the Raspberry Pi. So we just click on that, root directory, and paste the file. Hey guys, so I'm having an issue with the Pico trying to program it. And I thought it was I had the wrong one, which I did. But I could not program it for the life of me. So I went back to the supplier of the Picos, took the cables back because they were from them as well. Same issue there. I tried it on Windows 10, I tried it on Windows 11. And if I go to an older RP2040, it works fine. I can program it, not a problem. So I thought there's something wrong. So I did some hunting, asking around, doing one thing or another. And then I went online and I asked ChatGPT, and because I have a paid version, well, it's a free version for 12 months. So I run that through and I said, what could be the major things? And it told me, well, it could be this or it could be that, or sometimes I have these problems and blah, blah, blah. And in the end I thought, well, I'll upload the file to ChatGPT. And I did. And straight away, there's an error in your file. Okay. Go to the GitHub repository and download it as a raw file and try again. So this is what I did. And it worked. So for some reason when I downloaded it, it's turned around and put some form of web information at the beginning of the file. Don't know why. It's the first time I've had that happen to me. But it may have been the way I downloaded it or what I was doing at the time. I don't know. So just keep an eye out for that. It is now programmed, and I have it in here with all the others I tried. And I mean, they even tried a new cable. They tried Picos of their own. The tech guys did. And they couldn't get that file, because I left them a copy of it, because it is a third party file, so it's not top secret information. And they couldn't get the work, but then they tried a test file and it programmed fine. And by that time when they got back to me, which took a couple of days, I'd already gotten the answer. And as I said to the guy, I said, hey look, thanks for getting back to me, but I found out the file was corrupted, and I re-downloaded a new copy and it works fine. And he got back to me straight away and said, "Oh, that's awesome. Thanks very much." And I said, "Yeah, thanks for getting back to me." I mean, a lot of places now don't. They don't get back to you. You have to get back to them. Anyway, I did try, as I said, I did try various other picos. I mean, these are standard picos. I tried those. I tried some I got from AliExpress, which were the purple board picos. Same thing. And it was the corrupted file. But now that's working. So I'll have to dig out a 328. I have a Mark II in the white box that I'll pull out. I've just got to check to make sure it's all working. And then we can pop this bad boy into it and see how it goes. Alright. I'll get on with that in a minute. While I got you here, I'll just show you something. And here we have it, guys. A nice pile of bits on the table. These are all weird and wonderful things I've ordered for projects I got on the way, and I just thought I'd show you them. Brass inserts for 3D printed stuff. Now these are an ongoing dispute I have with an AliExpress supplier. I ordered some clock modules and there was meant to be 5 and they sent me 1. Then they turned around and said, "Sorry, order something else and we'll send you the other 4. So I ordered these. I didn't need them, and these are push switches, but I thought, nah, they can always come in handy. I've already got a box of these, and I thought, well, what's another box? And it was really the only thing they had on their website that I could use. So I ordered that and says, yes, send me my 4. Okay. I just got those. I didn't get the other 4. So I went back and in not so polite words told him, send me my 4 clock units. I'm not buying anything else. If I don't hear back from him in a day or two, I'm going straight to AliExpress and getting a refund from him. And I'll buy them elsewhere. These are something I wanted. I thought they were a bit bigger than this, but these will be fine. These are rubber feet to go on cases, which I want for a project. These are cool. These are pico, Raspberry Pi picos. These are the big brother. Now these don't have Wi-Fi on them, but I'll just open this up. If I can open it, here we go. These are Raspberry Pi 2350B, and they have 16 megs of PS RAM on them, and they come with a USB programmable daughter board and ribbon cable. They come in the castellated block, so it takes standard pin headers, and I'm going to use tuned pins on this, and this is for a project I'm building. And they were fairly cheap. Cheaper if you don't want the USB. You can buy them without the USB added header, and if I had thought about it, I would have gotten one with the USB header and the others without it, and it would have been it's like a couple of bucks cheaper. But I got these. These are way more powerful than these are. So for another project I'm doing, and as I say, the only difference is these are Wi-Fi, those aren't. Those are more powerful than these. That must have something else in it. It's empty. This is one I got in because I wanted some screws, and these are different various sizes of screws which I needed, and I got them in black because they are easier to hide stuff. And this is for another project too. Stainless steel compression springs, which I need for another thing I'm doing. I'm part the way through. And of course our old friends JLC PCB, and this is a board that'll fix the problems I had with this board. I didn't get them in black because it was cheaper, but that was the muck up I did last time. That's the CPU size, and I put the wrong footprint in it. So I thought, just to double check I'm doing them in green without paying the extra $7 or whatever it is to get them black. And so that's what I'm going to do with that. Alright, so that's all of that stuff for now. I will clean all this stuff off of my bench and we'll sort out a special video and have a look at this pico expander and see how it works. Hey guys, so Jersey on, it's evening now and it's gotten a little bit cooler. We're into our sort of mid-autumn now. Nights are getting a bit chilly. So anyway, 328 Mark II on the desktop, and you can generally tell the Mark II not just by the labelling here. The Mark IIs and the 328s and 318s had this label on them. The 328s had the red and black. The 318s had the yellow and turquoise, I think it was. It was like a greeny blue. And that was the difference between the Mark 1s and the Mark 2s. The Mark 1s didn't have this. A bit more pushing of RAM and ROM. Of course, we all know about this. 64K, not 80. The other 16K is video. But anyway, we've got this done. Here's the pico expander, and I'll plug the pico onto it. I've not hooked up to the PC yet, so we're about to see if that works. Known good power supply I've plugged in. Now, this just plugs into the expansion port, as far as I can tell, like that. And that's what I say, this has to go on the back side of the board. The plug's got to go on the front side of the board, and that's otherwise it will not fit on the back here. Alright, so I will get some leads and we will plug in some video. Just got to find me video leads. Here we are. Alright, let's put those back. And I'll just put my eyes on so I can tell which one's video and which one's audio. I'm pretty sure the top one's video and the bottom one's audio. They generally will have it marked on the back. I'm just not 100% sure this one does. No, it doesn't. And they generally have them embossed on the... Get you in shot. They generally have it embossed audio video on here, and it's not there, so this might be a later one again where it doesn't have those. And these, if you're wondering about these holes in the ends here, that was for securing the super expander onto this so that it didn't detach through that connector. And that was the original super expander. Now, as far as I know, all the information on this machine is it works. Everything on it works. It was part of a purchase I did a wee while back, and the only thing it didn't have was its power supply. But other than that, it's a nice running machine. It's one of the later ones that came in the plain white box, and that was getting near the end of their days, when rather than doing the nice flash boxes they came in, they just put it in a plain white one and sold them off with a few games in them and the manuals. But still a nice machine, and a cheap option if you want to get into one of these, is looking for like the non-branded boxed versions. They're exactly the same machine. Alrighty, so power supply's in, plugged in, monitor's plugged in. Turn the power on. Let's wait for the monitor to warm up a bit. And then what I will do is I will swing the camera around so you guys can see the screen. And I've got to try and find some way of capturing this stuff over the AV leads for you guys. I don't have anything at this stage. And I do know that doing it through the camera, you get the flickering through it. So I'm sorry about that. Alright, so we'll have a go at this and see how we go. Right, so we'll turn it on and see how we go. Oh, make sure we turn the power on. No, and there's something not happy. Okay, so it looks like there's an issue with the board, and just wondering what it is. I will have to have a look at this and see if I can see where the fault might be. Okay guys, sorry, as soon as I powered it on with this plugged in, all I had was the power LED and the caps lock stayed on solid. I couldn't turn it off, which generally means the machine's been ground down to a halt. I unplug this and the machine boots up fine. I removed the pico, same thing. Removed all the level shifters, plugged it back in, same thing. Removed the logic chip, same thing. Checked the switch and I found that the push button was in back to front, so I swapped that around, but all that would have done was keep it and reset. It still should have booted. Put it around so now it works when the button's pushed, it goes to ground. Still does the same thing. Check the resistor, it's 10k, it's fine. Checked all the caps and they are fine to ground. You push the reset in and you pick up the 10k, and they are all doing that. I've checked all the soldering on the back and I can't find a fault with it. The only thing I'm thinking of is there's something on the board that's not right, so I may have to solder up another one and see if that fixes our problem. I don't see any bridges underneath on the pins underneath the socket. It's not really bad soldering under there, it's quite nice and tidy. All the pins look fine, there's no bridges between them. So the only thing I can think of is either one of these caps has gone dead short, or there's a fault in the board, but I don't think so. I've had a lot of people who have had these boards made and they work fine. I can pull out these caps, which is one thing I may do. It doesn't need them to run, they're just filtering caps, so I may do that. I may pull them all out, see if the board runs. If the board runs, I'll put one in, try it again. If it still runs, I'll put another one in, try it again, and then try and find out if it's one of these. I do have a component tester I could chuck these in, but these are just 100 nanos anyway, so they're no biggie. And I've got a pile more coming anyway. Anyway, unfortunately, this is as far as we can go. I'm sorry about that, guys. But as soon as I get this up and running, we'll be back at it. Mark my words. So guys, sorry not the result I was hoping for, but this is live. It's what happens. As you can see, this is faulty and I have not tried it. You are getting what I'm getting. This is real life. This is what happens. Even to some of us who people think the sun shines out of parts of our body. Anyway, sorry again. And hopefully we'll be back shortly, in a very short time, with this working, and I'm hoping I can try and sort out some sort of video capture onto screen so I don't have to keep mucking around with the camera and the Commodore screen behind me. Anybody have anything they think might be ideal that's not overly expensive? I've been shelling out quite a bit, so I don't really want to buy a lot at the moment. Anyway, until we see each other next time, have a great day. Have a great week. Until next time. Ciao.